and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and in just 2 days, live on the WWE Network, we will see not one, not two, but 3 matches contested inside the Devil's Playground, one consisting of 2 family members looking to make the family proud, one consisting of a proud Scotsman and a sinister snake, and the other consisting of 2 former best friends looking to prove which one is truly the best in the SmackDown Live Women's Division. But before it is time for the 2 former best friends to settle their differences, before it is time for the 2 family members to settle the score, before it is time for Hell in a Cell 2020, it's time for the rundown. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another video right here on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle Wait for it, to Mankind. This is the official rundown for WWE Hell in a Cell 2020, which of course is streaming live on the WWE Network this Sunday, with the pre-show starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. But I'm pretty sure a lot of you wouldn't have known that because WWE hasn't even done a good job at building towards this pay-per-view. I don't even think you can even call this build towards Hell in a Cell an actual build, with 4 fucking matches confirmed. But regardless, I'm here because this is what I do. I am here because this is what we do here on the DJ Storms channel, and this is what the DJ Storms brand is all about. Predicting, analyzing, dissecting everything wrestling related. And as you can see, I'm not alone. Of course I'm not alone. I mean, why would I be alone? Especially when it's this guy. Especially when it's this guy right here. Of course I would have this guy on the channel. I mean, come on. You guys think I wasn't going to have this guy on the channel again? This guy's been one of my day one A1s. Alright? This guy's been one of the most loyal DJ Storms posse members of all time. This guy right here is a lifelong wrestling fan. This guy is one of the biggest advocates for me that you will ever find, which is why I keep on having him on. Please help me welcome back to the channel. Oh, guess who's back? Back again. Earl Cole's back. Tell a friend. How you doing, my friend?
You know, that kind of introduction just makes a Brooklyn guy really smile from here to the Brooklyn Bridge. You know, ladies and gentlemen, I love DJ Storms. And why do I love a man like this is because it's a passionate person. He does everything within his fiber to entertain you. And I love being a part of this mothership. I really do. I love being the border each and every time. Every time I walk away from these live streams and I've done these videos, I get so giddy and I get so happy because I've done my job. And I've done my job to the best of my ability. You know, tonight we're going to get inside this Hell in a Cell. And, you know, this is one of those times where we're leading up to the Survivor Series and everything else is going down the pike and everything that's happening. AEW is having their full gear. You know, so this is the fall time for all of us to just sit back we're in this still pandemic and try to enjoy a little wrestling on the table. I love being on here. This is our 8th collaboration, and I am so honored to be here with DJ Storms. We're going to give you a Grand Slam breakfast kind of what do you want to call it?
A Grand Slam breakfast buffet.
Kind of a buffet.
There we go.
Yes, a little buffet. Yeah, a little buffet.
We got the sausages, we got the breakfast sausages, we got the pancakes, we got the waffles, we got the scrambled, fried, and the hard-boiled eggs. Wide variety for everybody here.
Right. Right, exactly. So, I'm very honored to be here. If you want to follow me on social media, please do so. First of all, you can follow me on Instagram at EarlC99. Twitter, you can follow me on WWE Earl C. That's WWE Earl C. Or you can follow me on Facebook. Just look me up. And I'm also an admin on the DJ Posse page on Facebook. I'm always sending out different posts and sending you different news and rumors and reports that come into the airport. Last night, before we begin this video, last night I just wanted to tell you all something that happened to me that hasn't happened to me in over 6 years. In over 6 years.
I gotta hear this.
Last night, I watched and witnessed a hell of a barn burner classic with Rey Fenix on Dynamite. Now, if you haven't seen the match, I'm going to tell you, folks, from here to the fill-on station, you need to watch the on-demand presentation of the show. Because last night, ladies and gentlemen, I did something that I have never done in over 6 years. I stood up and I cheered out of my seat for what I was watching. The match was a classic. And it made me feel good, knowing that I'm a wrestling fan of over 40 years, and I got to see this barn burner of a classic. This match was unbelievable. If you didn't see it, and I urge you should, please go to TNT On Demand and go back and rewind it. I'm sure DJ Storms will elaborate on it on his weekly shows, reviews, and reports this weekend. But I am sure that you all will go back and watch it. You will be in awe as I was, because I'm excited. This is what wrestling is supposed to be. This is what wrestling is supposed to be. No gimmicks, no fluff, no dumb segments, no none of this. This is what wrestling is supposed to be. This is what wrestling's all about. This is how you build the wrestling show. This is how you build the storyline. This is how you take the breath out of a wrestling fan. This is the way you're supposed to do it. So I applaud AEW last night. I know we're not talking about AEW right now, but I just had to get that off my chest.
No, trust me. I completely understand there. And yes, I will be talking about that on the Lightning Flash update. That's actually tomorrow, Saturday. That's going to be live at 1 p.m. for those of you who are in the chat right now, who are watching. Of course, that is going to be tomorrow. But, man, I'm actually still on that match, to be quite honest with you. Even though we're dissecting Hell in a Cell, I'm still on that match.
I just cannot believe what I was watching. And I stood up and I applauded. I haven't done that in over 6 years. And trust me and tell me, a lot of things do not impress me anymore in the wrestling world. Nothing impresses me anymore. But that impressed me to no end. I don't know who booked the match, but hell of a job.
Great match. Definitely the match of the night. Great Dynamite, by the way. Of course, I'll be talking about that on the Lightning Flash update. But
yeah,
we're talking about Hell in a Cell 2020 and the card, or lack thereof a card.
Yeah.
But
right.
We got a lot to dissect, including some rumored matches. We got SmackDown tonight. Of course, the theme song for SmackDown is "Are You Ready for a Good Time?" But you never have a good time while watching SmackDown, but you're always going to have a good time with DJ Storms, which is why everyone is watching DJ Storms, because I am the talk of the town. Of course, I am the man, I am the myth, I am the legend. But anyway, before we get into the matches, Earl Cole gave you his social medias. All the social media links are in the description for Mr. Earl Cole, so follow him on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Of course, follow me on the Twitters at HistoryMakerDJ, as you'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Of course, follow me on Instagram and Periscope at the DJ Storms. I'm thinking about going live a little bit more on Periscope as of lately to kind of give everyone an insight into my life, kind of away from the DJ Storms brand, so that'll be like a little chill area for everyone who is friends of mine to come and chill. Of course, add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Of course, like the official DJ Storms business page, and of course, I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms posse group on Facebook, which, of course, Mr. Earl Cole is an admin on. All the links are in the description, you know. We had a midweek Lightning Flash update last week. No Lightning Flash update last Saturday because I was working, but we did have a midweek Lightning Flash update. If you guys missed that, please check that one out, in which I dissected the WWE Draft and all news and rumors coming out of that specific event and weekend. If you guys haven't already done so, we're over 11 minutes, and if you haven't liked the video, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, so like the fucking video, hit the like button. I got goals to reach.
Yeah, I like it. Like the button, because our last video, ladies and gentlemen, we had 214 viewers, and it was really ostentatious to get that kind of like, and to get those kind of eyeballs on the video. Whenever DJ Storms and I come together, ladies and gentlemen, I always have his back. I always tell you guys, you're going to be royally entertained. It's very animated. He is, and I just come in, and I come in with the mop, and I come in with the cleaner, and I just, I always use the hashtag. Oh, by the way, if you want to use the hashtag, please use the hashtag WWE. What are you doing?
Oh, good. We're going to be using that a lot. We're going to be using that a lot here. Trust me on that. But anyway, so like the video if you haven't already done so, and when you like, you got to keep the chat going. I know this is a live premiere right now, so keep the chat going, spark up the conversation, and share it out on all forms of social media. If you haven't already done so, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. I mean, I hope that we get decent views, although I don't know who the fuck cares about Hell in a Cell. But regardless, share it out on all platforms of social media, keep the chat going, and when you do that, you gotta hit the subscribe button, spark up the conversation, and hit the subscribe button, because I got goals to reach here. And when you hit the subscribe button, you gotta hit the notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is the best time to be on YouTube. It's the only time you're gonna get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination. Yeah, and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Oh, here we go. Right here.
Oh, the comb has come out, ladies and gentlemen, and that means only one thing. We are getting strapped in and ready to get inside this Hell in a Cell. Oh, boy.
You already know. Everybody wants a piece of the Stormsmeister. But anyway, enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisement. So, there's 4 matches confirmed, but we're actually going to talk about some rumored matches. Now, SmackDown, of course, is tonight. And they could still announce some matches, but we're gonna dissect some matches that have been heavily rumored for the show. One match that could take place on the pre-show, because let me tell you something. WWE with only 4 matches, you know that they're gonna announce a lot of matches last minute. One match last minute would be Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose versus Sonya Deville. No, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And I say this because over the course of the last few weeks, Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose have been winning. They've actually been getting wins, and they have been building them up for a potential Women's Tag Team title opportunity. If it's not the Riot Squad, then it makes sense for them to do Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. I would prefer the Women's Tag Team titles burned in a fucking inferno, But regardless of that, we're inside Hell in a Cell. I would much rather burn the women's tag team titles in hell than have them on television. But regardless, I digress there. But Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville winning the women's tag team titles would make the most sense. Get Nia Jax off of television. I'm still wondering why she wasn't released with the 40 other people released on Black Wednesday. Shayna Baszler, she should be in the Raw Women's Championship title hunt facing off against Asuka. So if this match gets confirmed, which realistically I don't think it will, we'll have to wait and see, but this logically would make a reasonable pre-show match. So this could be confirmed for the pre-show, and if so, I would give the titles to Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Get them off Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Split up Shayna Baszler and Nia. Get Nia off of television and put Shayna Baszler in the Raw Women's Championship title hunt with Asuka. Will they do that? Probably not. But if this match is confirmed, I'm going with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke to win the Women's Tag Team Championships. Earl Cole, how about you?
Well, first of all, I like the return of Mandy Rose. I do like her. I think she has improved a lot in the ring. I noticed that. I noticed that her ring savvy is a little bit better than it was before.
Oh yeah.
She has different moves in the ring. Which I like. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, however, that's a disaster. And I don't understand why in the world would you put these two? It's almost like putting two women in a dinky boat, and the hole is leaking, and the two of them can't seem to help each other. It seems like something is disconnecting here with the two of them, because Shayna Baszler is carrying 98% of that team. Nia Jax cannot move. She cannot move correctly in the ring. She is the worst wrestler I've ever seen in my entire life.
Worse than Jinder Mahal?
And I don't know what everybody... Well...
Worse than Jinder Mahal! The Maharaja!
Let's not go there. At least Jinder could move in the ring. Nia Jax is terrible. All she does is give Samoan drops, headbutts through a table. What is that? What are you doing with her?
Just ask Lana.
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
Yeah, what are you doing?
5 times. 5 times. It's fucking comical, dude. It's comical.
I mean, this is just absolutely laughable. It really is laughable. Because you see Nia Jax in the ring. Shayna Baszler comes in, and all she does is splash someone in the corner, headbutt them, and Samoa drop them. That's not a rest. That's not how you wrestle. That is not how you wrestle. You don't even sell the move correctly. That's how sloppy she is.
Oh my god.
And I mean, it just behooves me. It just behooves me to know that these two women are tag team champions, and I just don't get it. I don't get it why they gave them the tag team belts. I really don't get it. They cannot move correctly in the ring. They're not worthy of these tag team belts. And another thing too is I just want to point out to everyone. If the WWE Universe likes these belts, which they do, it's not going anywhere.
They
but
don't.
At least one thing.
No one cares about them, dude. No one cares about them.
I mean, at least one thing is with these tag team women's belts, it needs to go correctly to the right person to hold the title and to move correctly in the ring. So I do agree with your assessment when you says that, you know, Dana Brooke and Mandy should be the tag team champions, because let's just face it, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are not the end-all, the be-all in the women's division of tag team.
There is no women's tag team division, dude.
They're not. No, there is. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. No, you're right. You're right. You're right about that. You're right about that.
Just give them the tag team titles, and then the reason why I just want them to win the tag team titles so that way we could just get Shayna Baszler away from Nia, and we could actually get some real women's wrestling with Asuka and Shayna Baszler. Not a 2-minute match with Lana, only for Lana to tap out in a minute, and then Nia Jax puts her through a table for a 5th time.
Right, exactly. I mean that was just. I don't know who thought of that. I really don't know who thought of that.
It's Bruce and Vince being petty towards Lana because Miro went to AEW. It's plain and simple.
Well, if you're going to bury her like that, then release her. I mean, that's the most logical thing to do. If all you're going to do is jobber her, then release her. Release her.
She should have been released with the 40 other people on Black Wednesday if that's the case.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just ridiculous. The whole thing is just ridiculous. If this match does take place on the pre-show, give it to Mandy and give it to Dana and just let's just move on from this. I mean, because there's really nothing I can say about these two. I mean, it's just laughable to just see these two in the ring. They don't move well together as a tag team. They don't even look well on paper. I mean, I can see if they look good on paper, but it just doesn't. It's like moving sand from one end of the room to another room. I mean, it's just... I mean, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Everybody hashtag what are you doing in the chat right now. Hashtag what are you doing. Anyway.
It's like, what are you doing?
We're moving on. Now, I'm not sure if you caught this. I know you watch all weekly shows. So I have a feeling that you may have caught this. Did you caught the segment between Sami Zayn and Otis last Friday on SmackDown, right?
Yes, I did.
So, now, I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it, but could they go with Sami Zayn versus Otis for the Intercontinental title? And if they do, who do you think is going to come out victorious there? Now, I originally thought that based off of Big E, they would have gone with Big E versus Sami because he's been getting wins. He's actually been winning. He's actually been getting built up. So Big E versus Sami Zayn would be the natural route to go because Big E is a credible challenger for Sami Zayn, but this is WWE, so of course, if it makes sense, they're not going to do it. But Otis and Sami Zayn, they had a little back and forth backstage. Otis, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Otis. Apparently, he's still Mr. Money in the Bank. I don't know if you realized it, but he is. But I don't know if they're going to go forth with Sami Zayn and Otis. I don't want to see Sami Zayn and Otis. I'm still trying to figure out why the fuck they even broke up Heavy Machinery. But regardless, that could be a match rumored for the show. I don't know if they go forth with it. I don't want to see it. And to be quite honest with you, out of all the rumored matches for the show, this is probably the match that's least likely to happen. But I just figured I'd put it on for the sake of putting it on because it was a segment on television and they could follow up on it, considering that Vince McMahon is supposedly high on Otis. So, if it does take place, I don't really expect anything of it. They're not bad wrestlers, but how the fuck am I supposed to care? So, I would just go with Sami Zayn to retain the Intercontinental title. No way Sami Zayn should be losing the Intercontinental title. What are your thoughts on it? Should it take place? Or if it takes place? I don't think it will, but I just figured I'd put it on because, again, it was a segment on SmackDown, and you know how Vince McMahon can operate. You could just put shit on the card out of the blue.
Right. Okay, here's the thing. I did see a segment, the backstage segment, where he pie-faced at Sami and Sami fell to the floor and everything else. If this match comes to fruition, and we do have this match, this is going to be what I considered in the wrestling world a squash. And the reason why I said it's a squash is because why would you want to strip Sami Zayn right now of the Intercontinental title when he had a hellacious ladder match on the previous pay-per-view where he successfully got back his title? It doesn't make any sense. Otis, to me, is not championship-worthy material. And I'm sorry to say that, and I'm just not a fan of Otis. Buffoonery and all that stuff he was doing with the meat and the ham and all that kind of stuff, it's just destroyed his character. And the thing is that on Heavy Machinery, let me explain something to you. Heavy Machinery used to be in NXT, and when they were in NXT, they were a great tag team. They had good matches for them. The minute they called Heavy Machinery up to the main roster, they destroyed them. And booking-wise, they really destroyed them. So, I mean, it's not good business then to put the Intercontinental title on Otis. It's not. If this match does come to fruition, like I said, Zayn will retain the title. It will be a squash, and we can just move on from this because there's really nothing I can say about this match. It really isn't, because it doesn't make any sense. There's no build up to it. There's no thought process behind it. There's no nothing to it.
So as far as Otis relates,
what is it?
As far as Otis relates, what do you see happening with Otis? See, like the thing that I can see happening. Apparently, Vince McMahon's a big fan of him, but I don't think that that's going to mean anything in the long run, especially with Roman Reigns as the Universal Champion right now, the Tribal Chief. So, if anything, I could see one of two things happening with Otis. He's either going to cash in and lose, or he's going to cash in successfully and then lose the title in his first title defense at the next pay-per-view. So, what can you see happening?
I think they're going to do this court thing, this court storyline case, or whatever this is going on. The judge is going to say that Otis will have to defend the Money in the Bank in a match against The Miz. Okay? Morrison interferes in the match. The Miz wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. Okay? He doesn't cash it in. He doesn't use it. He doesn't whatever. It goes to The Miz. Okay? The Miz then takes the Money in the Bank briefcase and makes it pristine and makes it prestige. And at the Survivor Series, The Miz will then cash in that Money in the Bank briefcase and take on the Tribal Chief for the Universal Championship. That is what I see in the crystal ball of the whole thing. But I could be wrong. But I smell that's coming. I could smell it. That's the road that they want to travel on. Because let's just face it, Otis is not main event material. So how are you going to build up the Survivor Series? How are you going to do that? And who would Roman's next opponent be?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I was actually going to talk about that when we get to the WWE Championship match. So I would actually save that. Let's hold on to that thought. But as far as Otis goes, I really don't see them playing out that storyline when Miz is on Raw. I mean, they could do that because WWE has pretty much said fuck the brand split. So I don't know. I don't really know what's going down there, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But I can't really see them. I can't really see them giving the title, the Money in the Bank briefcase to The Miz right now. But we'll see how that plays out. The next match that is rumored. Now, this is a match that I can definitely see happening, especially after what happened last Friday. Street Profits versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. We already know that the tag team division in WWE is absolutely terrible. The tag team championships are completely fucking worthless. So at the end of the day, it really doesn't mean much if this match was on the show or not. Could be a decent tag team match. Not going to bullshit you. But at the end of the day, it will mean nothing in the grand scheme of things. It will mean absolutely nothing. Street Profits, I can see winning. I really don't see them taking the titles off the Street Profits right now, especially after they just won them. They could do it. You never know. If anything, I could possibly see them building up Rey Mysterio and Dominic to take on the Street Profits for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. When that's going to be, I don't know. The WWE has clearly shown us that they don't give a shit about making the tag team titles on either brand prestigious, so it really wouldn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But this is definitely a match that I can see happening at the event.
Which is sad.
Yeah, it's very, very sad. Then you take a look at AEW, and AEW, they got the best fucking tag team division in the world. We're getting the Young Bucks versus FTR at Full Gear. So, as far as the Street Profits and Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler go, could it be a decent match? Possibly. Will it be a decent match? Probably. Will it enhance the show? Probably not. Is it going to mean anything in the long run? Fuck no. So, the Street Profits versus Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler, should that be confirmed, which I do believe it will, I'm going to go with the Street Profits to retain the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. As far as the Survivor Series go, they're building it around The Undertaker and his 30th anniversary. He is not wrestling on the show according to WrestleVotes. So I do believe that they could possibly do the Raw versus SmackDown deal for Survivor Series, and we could end up getting the Street Profits versus the New Day, Raw versus SmackDown Tag Team Champions. We could get the typical Survivor Series 5-on-5 match. If they want to do a Retribution versus...
Teams that survive, strive to survive.
Yeah, pretty much. If they want to do a Retribution versus a WWE assembled team, which apparently that's been a rumor. I'm not sure if they're going to go forth with it or not, especially after what happened on Monday when T-Balls tapped out in 5 seconds to the Hurt Lock. But I'm going to rant on that tomorrow on the Lightning Flash update. But I can definitely see them going forth with Raw vs. SmackDown. They're going to build the Survivor Series around The Undertaker specifically to get people to watch, specifically because they're desperate for ratings. This is the WWE we're talking about here. But I can definitely see them doing Raw and SmackDown, which is why the Street Profits could retain the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, and Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler will not be anywhere near championship gold, and I can see them building up Rey and Dominic potentially for the Street Profits after the Survivor Series. What are your thoughts should this match take place on the show?
First of all, that was a very good introduction, and it was a great assessment by yourself as always. I give kudos on that. The tag team division is really and truly disappointing. And I just don't understand the WWE. I just don't understand their hatefulness for their tag team division. Because back in the days when I grew up watching WWE and the tag team division, man, their tag team division used to be on point. The matches used to make sense. The storyline used to make sense. They used to set ablaze with some of the matches. But now all of a sudden it's just dumpster fire for the tag team division. It's just, it's weird how the WWE has just done a 360 on their tag team division. It's very odd behavior for an organization to just dump all over their tag team division. I don't understand it. I guess I will never understand it as a fan. Because I have done a lot of things. I've spoken a lot of times about this. I've said rants about it. I've done this about it. I've gone back and forth with debates on it. As far as this tag team match is concerned, first of all, you all know that Dolph Ziggler is a jobber. And there's no way around saying that. The WWE doesn't like Dolph Ziggler. They never did. If they did, he would have had a championship a long time ago. They don't believe in him. They just have him out there just to show, just to get beat down, just to get thinned, and that's it, and get in the back. That's all Dolph Ziggler is to the WWE. It's their card-carrying jobber. It's just like a credit card. It's just like American Express. Don't leave home without it. And that's Dolph Ziggler. That's Dolph Ziggler.
That's Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, that's Dolph Ziggler right there in there. And then he's attached to Robert Roode and just came back. And that doesn't look good for Robert Roode either, because they don't know how to book him correctly either. When he was on NXT, they booked him in great matches, but ever since he got called up to the main roster, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't even flourished.
He was the best heel in WWE during that run in 2017. That was the time when Robert Roode was the best heel in all of WWE. The glorious NXT version of Robert Roode, that was a guy that could carry the fucking company, dude.
Right. I mean, when he was in, like I said, and I said before, and I said when he was in NXT, he had stellar matches. They had stellar storylines. But now when he's on the main roster, they destroyed him. I mean, they put him in these dumb matches that don't even make sense, and these stupid storylines, and it's just ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. And if they do take on the Street Profits, they're not going to give them the tag team belts. They would never do that. That'd be stupid. The Street Profits will have to retain the titles and go about their business, because there's really no build-up here. I don't see, I mean, they put them on TV already. We've seen it on TV already. So what's the sense of seeing it on a pay-per-view? I mean, really, to be honest with you, when the outcome is not going to change, they're not going to win those belts. They're not going to. I mean, if they did, it would be dumb. It would be a dumb business move on their part. I mean, really. I mean, you jobber Ziggler all the time. He's jobbering to everyone. I can't remember the last time Ziggler won a match. A singles match. No, let alone a tag team match. I haven't remembered the last time he got a win in a match. I don't remember.
I can't even think of it, dude. I can't even think of it. I'm trying to think, and I remember everything. I remember everything, and I can't even think of it.
I mean, I just can't even, I can't wrap my head around it. I just can't wrap my head around it.
Oh my God.
I don't understand it, and I can't obtain it. So, if this match does come to fruition, the Street Profits will remain the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and we're just gonna move on.
So we got that. I don't think anyone fucking cares about the tag team division in WWE. So if they don't care, why should we care? But anyway, there's one match that I would assume that now this is the second match that I can definitely see being confirmed tonight on SmackDown. For those of you watching SmackDown, I don't know like who the fuck would want to watch SmackDown. Obviously, I'll be watching SmackDown to take my usual notes. But the fifth match that I can definitely see being confirmed for Hell in a Cell is Murphy versus Seth Rollins. Now, the reason why is because that match, outside of the three other matches that we talked about, this match between Murphy and Rollins actually has long-term build. This has been building since Payback, and Rollins has been verbally and physically abusing Murphy to a point where Murphy now is just pissed off with Rollins, and now Murphy wants to get revenge on Seth Rollins, so I would assume that they would book this match. The only thing that I don't like about this is the fact that they've used Aaliyah Mysterio as a middle woman in this match, or segment, or feud, whatever the fuck you want to call it, this angle with Murphy and Seth Rollins, and the Mysterios, Dominic and Ray, they look like idiots after Aaliyah told them that Murphy's not like Seth. Murphy beat the shit out of Seth twice, and Ray and Dominic are like still hesitant, even though Aaliyah was just proven right a couple of times. But, you know, I did enough rants on that. But if we do get Murphy and Rollins, if we do get Murphy and Rollins, I will say this. That match is actually pay-per-view worthy. That is a World Championship match if I've ever seen one. Buddy Murphy is a great fucking wrestler, and the fact that he hasn't gotten the proper opportunity to succeed as a singles wrestler on the main roster is just fucking criminal. So, as far as Murphy goes...
they're burying him.
What'd you say?
I think they're burying him, to be honest with you.
I hope not, because if anything, Murphy realistically should be the next in line for Sami Zayn and the Intercontinental Championship. Murphy as Intercontinental Champion would do wonders for his career. So, if we do get this match, outside of one of the Hell in a Cell matches, the 3 Hell in a Cell matches that we got, this match definitely has the potential to be a Match of the Year candidate if they wanted it to. I would have Rollins and Murphy go 20 minutes. I would have them go 20 minutes. I would have them tear the house down. Rollins, yeah. he's a fucking pussy. He blocked me on social media. He blocked me on Twitter, did Rollins, but you know, I will not discredit his in-ring ability. Murphy's great. Murphy's underrated. Murphy could be a solid mid-card act. I mean, we all know how great Murphy was. Murphy had a great fucking reign as Cruiserweight Champion. So if anything, this match would make sense, and I would actually give Murphy the win.
Would you book the match? Would you book the match 2 out of 3 falls?
Right now, no, because I do believe that Rey Mysterio did say that he's about 99% better. So if that's the case, what I would do is I could see this match being booked. I can see Rey Mysterio getting involved, and Rey Mysterio kind of has an epiphany and he sides with Murphy here, and we get Murphy getting the win over Rollins with the help of Rey and Dominic, and then Rey can come back. He can wrap up his feud with Rollins, because realistically speaking, Rollins, by the end of November, he's going away. Him and Becky, they're about to have a kid, so obviously he needs to be home to care for his wife and his kid. So if anything, on his way out, Rollins, he should put over Murphy, and he should put over Rey Mysterio. And if he puts over Rey Mysterio, that's probably going to take place at the Survivor Series. If they go forth with that, we could see Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins one more time at the Survivor Series, and that will be that. That will be that. But if we do get Murphy versus Rollins, if they wanted to, this could be the best match of the night outside of the Hell in a Cell matches, and I would give Murphy the win. And I would have Rey Mysterio aid Murphy in getting the win over Rollins, since Murphy's not together with Rollins anymore. I mean, it would make sense. Will WWE do that? Probably not, because they're a bunch of fucking idiots, but, you know, I bring out the logic. You know the drill, bro.
I understand complicitly. You don't have to beat me over the head with a baseball bat. You really don't. Here's the thing that I like about this feud. Murphy is turning babyface. Rollins is a nasty heel, and he does good as a heel. He really does. He really does good as a heel. Yeah, I agree with your assessment again, with this brilliant assessment, and I like this match. And if it does come to fruition, I could see Murphy winning over Rollins with the help of Mysterio. But now, here's the question that I have, which really didn't make any sense. Last week on SmackDown, they had an altercation with him and Daniel Bryan. Now, where's this going? Are you going to do what I like to call the 3-state highway feud? Are you going to infuse all of these feuds in one storyline? Does Rollins have to go and take on Mysterio? Then he has to deal with Murphy. Then he has to deal with Daniel Bryan. This is what I'm kind of concerned with here. Because if you're going to take the audience on this kind of a journey, I think it's going to be a recipe for disaster. Because you can't have 3 feuds in one storyline. And if that's what you're trying to do, it's going to be a disaster, because people are not going to be able to follow these feuds. They're not going to understand why you starting one feud, and then you're starting another feud, and then you're putting another person in the mix, and it's just going to be a mess.
Right now, no. Right now, Rollins is not feuding with Bryan. I feel as though that was just a tease. That was just a tease of a feud that could potentially come in the future when Rollins comes back. So if anything, what we're doing right now is we're going to go forth with Rollins and Murphy. We're going to have Murphy and Rollins have their match at Hell in a Cell. Rey Mysterio said he's about 99% better. He could return at Hell in a Cell and he could help Murphy. And then we can get Murphy and Rollins at Survivor Series. Not Murphy and Rollins. Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins at Survivor Series. That wraps up that feud, finally. And then we get Seth Rollins going away. Rey and Dominic, they're going to go forth and challenge the Street Profits. Murphy, he's going to go forth and challenge Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental Championship. Rollins, after he's done caring for his kid and he gets settled into being a father, I can definitely see Seth Rollins coming back and feuding with Daniel Bryan after WrestleMania. And that would be a very nice return feud for Seth Rollins coming back from his recent leave and his recent absence to go and care for his child. That would be a nice way to insert Rollins back into the spotlight and really gain him some great heel heat, because Daniel Bryan is such a natural babyface. Daniel Bryan is a natural babyface that we can all gravitate towards because of how well he plays it, and the fact that he's just the everyday common man. Rollins playing this Monday Night Messiah, or now it's like the Friday Night Savior gimmick, apparently. That would definitely help Rollins and enhance his heel character coming back from his absence if he was to feud with Daniel Bryan. And I do feel as though what we got on the SmackDown season premiere, that was definitely a tease of what is to come. So I can definitely see Rollins feuding with Bryan after WrestleMania 37. But for now, we're getting Rollins and Murphy at Hell in a Cell. And then we're going to see Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins at the Survivor Series. If we don't see it at the Survivor Series, we could see it at TLC. But then Rollins would have to jet back to wherever Becky Lynch is. I don't know where Becky Lynch even is. Where is she residing? But regardless of that, I can't see it taking place at TLC. We could get it, but then Rollins would have to jet back to Becky Lynch as soon as that match is over. So I would assume it would take place at Survivor Series, because that's the next logical step. If Rey Mysterio is apparently 99% better, just book the match and then get the fucking feud over with. But at Hell in a Cell, Murphy and Rollins is the way to go.
Well, let me ask you this, and let me see if this makes sense to you. Does this make sense that you had the two of them in the ring with this interaction, and then what you just said? If you want this feud to continue on WrestleMania, how is the fans going to remember how this feud started? You see, that's the problem there, because there's too much time lapsed in remembering, especially with a new audience and a new somebody coming on board, and they're trying to figure out, like, what in the world is going on here? Like, why is this happening? Like, why is this match happening? And then you would have to backtrack, and then you would have to have them memorize what happened in the season premiere and everything else. That's what I'm kind of concerned with.
I don't even think it was a real startup to a feud. That's the thing. I feel as though it was just one little interaction. It wasn't even a real spark to a feud. Okay. So Rollins, he could come back and he could attack Daniel Bryan. He could attack Daniel Bryan and pretty much say like, "Hey, you aren't good enough to lead this show into the future, but I am. Everyone idolizes you, but they really should be idolizing me." Stuff like that. So I don't think that what we got on the season premiere, I don't think that was a real spark up to a feud. That was just a little interaction, obviously, to get some people talking. Obviously, that's a future program. This current version of Rollins and then the yes version Daniel Bryan, that is definitely a current world title, a world title program that we're going to see down the line. I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. I mean, it's a great heel versus a great babyface, so we'll see how that plays out. But Rollins and Murphy, that's what we're looking. That's what we're looking at as far as Hell in a Cell goes. I'm going with Murphy to win.
I'm going to go with the same road. I'm going to go with the same road as you, and Murphy will prevail over Rollins in this.
So, those are all the rumored matches. So, let's talk about a match that's actually confirmed, and that's Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match for the WWE Championship. I've said it once and I'll say it again. WWE has absolutely run this feud into the fucking ground. After SummerSlam, after the build-up and the excellent match that we got at SummerSlam, they have not done this feud any favors. They have not done Randy Orton any favors. They have not done Drew McIntyre any favors. Matter of fact, I have come to a point where I don't even give a shit who comes out of Hell in a Cell with the WWE Championship. I just want this program to be over. And to be quite honest with you, I don't even know who's going to come out of Hell in a Cell with the WWE Championship. I would prefer Drew McIntyre specifically because Randy Orton and the feud with Edge doesn't need the WWE Championship, but I can definitely see Randy Orton coming out of Hell in a Cell as the WWE Champion. Now, if they do the Raw versus SmackDown dynamic, then I can see Drew McIntyre coming out victorious, and they could go forth with Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, WWE versus Universal Champion at the Survivor Series, Raw versus SmackDown, because you're not going to do heel versus heel. You're not going to do Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. Now, Drew McIntyre could win clean, but I don't see that happening. Now, I actually predicted a few weeks ago on the Lightning Flash update that we could potentially see Edge at Hell in a Cell, because notice how every legend came back at Clash of Champions to exact their revenge on Randy Orton except for Edge. Now, Edge did say that he wasn't going to be in the Royal Rumble this year, but he ended up trolling us, and he came out at number 21 in the Royal Rumble. Edge said his return is currently going slower than expected, and it's touch and go for the Rumble and or February. So I think that Edge could possibly be trolling us. We could potentially see Edge inside Hell in a Cell, and he could potentially cost Randy Orton the WWE Championship. Then we could possibly see Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns at the Survivor Series. We can see Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns as an interim break, so those two don't have to defend their titles at the Survivor Series. And then we could possibly see Drew McIntyre taking on someone like, let's think, maybe a Matt Riddle, maybe an AJ Styles. We could see Matt Riddle and AJ Styles. I would definitely love to see Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles there. Matt Riddle, that could be a future program, but I don't think that they're going to go forth with Matt Riddle, considering that they have not been doing him any favors. They've been having him lose. The way that Styles has been presented, it looks like AJ Styles could be the next challenger after Randy Orton, should Randy Orton lose at Hell in a Cell. And to be quite honest with you, it's probably the best route. I would not have Drew McIntyre lose the WWE Championship until WrestleMania 37, to be quite honest with you. Drew McIntyre and his WWE Championship reign should really be used to build up a new star. I would have gone with Aleister Black, but apparently Aleister Black, he's been traded to SmackDown, so Keith Lee would probably be the next logical route for Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 37. As far as Hell in a Cell goes, it really is a toss-up. I don't really know who's going to come out victorious. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. I just want this feud to end. WWE has completely ran this feud into the ground. The promos are the same exact fucking promos every single week on Raw. And I don't think anyone wants to see a fourth Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton match for the WWE Championship. So I see Drew McIntyre retaining the WWE Championship. I can definitely see Edge coming out and exacting his revenge on Orton. Does it happen? I don't know. Where does Randy Orton go? We could possibly see Randy Orton feud with Edge at the Survivor Series. We could possibly see Randy Orton feud with The Fiend after the Survivor Series. It is definitely a toss-up, but I have a feeling that we could be headed towards a Fiend-Randy Orton feud at some point. Earl Cole, I'm going to toss the ball back over to you. Let me hear it.
Yeah, this Hell in the Cell, this with Randy Orton and it's just gotten too much. It really is too much. It's too overloaded. I think that it should have ended at SummerSlam. It should have ended you had the ambulance match. That was enough. That should have been it. Why are you continuing this storyline? Why are you keep going down this babbling brook? It's just, like, what are you doing? It just behooves me. It just behooves me. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if I see Orton winning the match. He could. Remember, this is an I Quit match.
No, it's not.
So,
no, the Roman Reigns Jey Uso match is the I Quit match. This is a regular Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that's right. This is a regular Hell in a Cell. Okay. My apologies. I don't know. I don't know if I see Orton with the title. I don't know if I see McIntyre retaining the title. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to get inside. See, this is the problem with this match. You don't know what the predictability factor is. You don't know which side it's going to switch with the WWE. You just never know what they're going to come out with. I don't know what their flavor of the month is. I know that Vince likes McIntyre. But my question to you is that is it enough for McIntyre to hold on to that title? And I don't know.
That depends. That really does depend if they want to go forth with Edge and Orton for the WWE Championship, and Edge could win the WWE Championship. But I don't think that's the best route, considering that Edge is really on his last legs, and he's just having this run specifically to end his career on his terms. And if anything, like I've said, the feud with Edge and Orton, that doesn't need the belt. Drew McIntyre should not be losing the WWE Championship until WrestleMania 37. His WWE title reign should be used to build up a new star. I would have Drew McIntyre hold that title until WrestleMania to drop to someone like a Keith Lee or an Aleister Black, because he has that credibility. Making a new star would be the correct thing to do. Now, losing to Randy Orton's not going to bury Drew McIntyre, but all of that credibility that McIntyre has, it really would go to waste if you would just give the victory to Randy Orton. So, again, I don't know. It's very unpredictable, but I'm going to need a prediction. I'm going with McIntyre.
This is a toss-up. So, okay, all right. So because of what you just said, and based upon what you just said, and based upon everything else that we've talked about, I'm going to give it to McIntyre. I'm just going to give it to McIntyre. Will he win clean in the ring? I don't know. We could get referee get knocked out. We can get some screwy finish. We can get. You have no idea what they're going to do inside the Hell in a Cell. But Orton will not be walking out of that cell with that belt. He will not. So based upon what you just said, okay, I'm going to agree with you.
Do we see Edge?
I don't know about that. I don't know how well he is to travel. I don't know how well he is to be up to do a drive-by. I don't know how well. We haven't heard any updates on him. I know he had the surgery. I know he had things going on, and this is happening and that's happening. So I don't know if we're going to see Edge, but it could happen. It could happen. We could see the referee get knocked down, and Orton's doing some dastardly things. All of a sudden, we hear Edge's music. Come on. And he breaks up the steel of the door. He comes in and he spears Orton, leaves Orton in the middle of the ring, all this confusion and all this kind of stuff. And McIntyre just pins Orton in the middle of the ring. That could happen.
We'll see.
That could happen. But we'll see.
We'll see there. So, this match was actually made official on Monday. This next match, Elias and Jeff Hardy. Now, in no way, shape, or form is this a pay-per-view worthy match. Matter of fact, the storyline doesn't even make any fucking sense. Elias is mad because Jeff Hardy apparently hit him with a car 5 months ago, but it was already confirmed. It was already confirmed that Jeff Hardy was at the police station, and eyewitnesses showed up to the police station and said that there was a man with red hair and a red beard running out of his car, pretty much implying that it was Sheamus whom Jeff Hardy was feuding with at that time. So you're pretty much debunking not only Hardy, but you're pretty much debunking multiple eyewitnesses that showed up to a motherfucking police station where Jeff Hardy was being questioned. I mean, come on, tell me Elias isn't this fucking dumb. Tell me he isn't this fucking dumb. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. So, apparently, that's why we're getting this match. I don't think anyone gives a shit about Elias. Elias is like a mini Braun Strowman. I'm telling you, he's like a mini Braun Strowman. They failed to capitalize when Elias was at his peak. They failed. They completely failed to capitalize. That match with Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank in 2018, that was it. That match with Seth Rollins at Money in the Bank 2018, that was the last gasp of hope that Elias had. After that match, Elias was dead. Elias was dead. He has never recovered from it. He has done the same shit over and over again. He's musically talented. I'm not going to discredit him there. He's great at what he does when it comes to musical instruments, but when it comes to his in-ring work and his character's the same shit over and over again, and his in-ring work really isn't anything that special. Matter of fact, he's kind of regressed in the ring. So I don't give a shit about Elias. I don't think anyone gives a shit about Elias, but I'm going to go forth with Elias getting the win here. I really don't think Jeff Hardy is going to get the win here. Elias just returned, so it wouldn't really make sense for Elias to lose his first match back on pay-per-view. Do I give a shit? No, this is just an interim match. This is nothing more than a cool-down match between two Hell in a Cell matches that I'm assuming that we're going to be getting. That's a filler. It's pretty much a filler. I don't give a shit about it. I don't think anybody gives a shit about it. Elias is going to get the victory. Really nothing more we can say on that. I don't give a shit. Jeff Hardy, he should realistically be built up to be the next challenger for Bobby Lashley and the U.S. Championship, but you got the Hurt Business feuding with Retribution. They're feuding with Applejack, Kangaroo Jack, T-Balls, and Disgrace.
You can't make this stuff up. You really can't make this stuff up.
Coming from my mind. And it's on television. Look, it's on television. We got Disgrace, a.k.a. the Great Value Shredder, versus what was it? He was supposed to face MVP on Monday Night Raw, and then they changed it. They changed it to an 8-man tag team match, and then they included the Great Value Bane in T-Balls, and then we got, what was it? We got Jason, Slapjack, Applejack, Kangaroo Jack. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're not talking about Retribution. We're talking about Elias and Jeff Hardy. So I need your expertise analysis on that match, and who do you see coming out victorious?
First of all, a lot of people, have said that Elias is not entertaining, but I find him to be entertaining in the music sense. In the wrestling sense, no. Again, as I said before, and I said again, when he was in NXT, he was flourishing there, and he was getting better storylines. He was getting better matches. He comes on the main roster, and it's the same gimmick over and over again. Who wants to walk with Elias? I mean, come on now. I mean, do you have anything else in your repertoire that you can come out with and entertain the audience with? I mean, gimmicks is one thing, but then if you over-gimmick-size the gimmick, it just gets stale after a while, and it just gets boring. I don't like over-gimmick things. It just doesn't do well for the character. This feud with Jeff Hardy, it's absolutely ridiculous. We all know what happened. Jeff Hardy did not hurt Elias in the car crash. It never happened. I don't know where Elias is getting this from. I don't know what planet he's on or where he's coming from. But as far as this match is concerned, I would say just put Elias down on the mat, swanton bomb his behind, and just keep it moving. And just pin him and get it over with. I mean, it's a waste. It's a waste of pay-per-view energy for you to buy this pay-per-view to watch this match. I mean, it's just a waste. It could be on Raw. It could be on SmackDown. It could be anywhere, but not a pay-per-view. I would even think a house show would be better to watch it in than to watch this review. It's just not worthy of a pay-per-view. It's not worthy. The match is not pay-per-view worthy. I don't know who is sitting down in the room and booking these matches, but you are definitely getting the biggest, what are you doing in the planet? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Dude. Why are you giving us this crap? Why are you doing this?
Because WWE don't know what the fuck they're doing, dude. They don't even know what the fuck they're doing. All they're doing, you see, Bruce Pritchard, there was a report that Bruce Pritchard literally asks no questions with Vince McMahon. All he does is go forth with everything that Vince McMahon says. It was a report from Ringside News. And you know something? It pretty much confirms that Bruce Pritchard is Vince McMahon's #1 cocksucker. I mean, what other term is there to use? It's ridiculous. He's Vince McMahon's #1 shill.
Puppet?
He's a puppet. I prefer cocksucker because, you know, I gotta be vulgar as shit over here. It's DJ Storms, of course. But you know what I mean.
No, I understand what you're saying. And, you know, there's a song that goes, pull strings and I'll play with you, you're my puppet. You know, it's just, I don't know what to say about this match. I just think Jeff Hardy's going to win this match. I don't know. I don't see Elias winning the match. I mean, he could. I mean, it all depends on what storm wind you're going to blow or whatever, or where the wind blows or whatever.
I honestly don't give a shit who wins this match, to be quite honest with you. I don't give a shit who wins this match. I don't give a shit about this match whatsoever. I mean, I just hope it's passable. I just hope I don't have to put a thumbs down on it. But all in all, that's pretty much that. He's going with Jeff Hardy on there. I don't blame him. I don't really care who wins. Matter of fact, I'd take Jeff Hardy over Elias. I would build up Jeff Hardy to face off against Bobby Lashley for the U.S. Championship. But of course, they have not made the U.S. Championship a priority on WWE television. But now we could talk about what you were talking about earlier. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso, and I quit Hell in a Cell match for the Universal Championship. You know what? I'm going to hand this over to you. You could dissect this one first. Let me hear it. Give me your expertise analysis. What's your prediction, and where could both of these men go after this match?
Okay, well, first of all, Roman just won this match. I mean, won the title, excuse me. And I'm a Roman Reigns fan, and a lot of you probably don't know that. But I like this new heel persona.
So do I. Really I love it.
Like this heel. I love this heel persona. I really love the new look he has. I like the whole low blow thing, the dirty heat.
Let me tell you something. That little thing, that low blow kick out maneuver, that is an excellent subtle heel tactic, and I really do hope that is used a lot more. That is a very, very, very nice, subtle, sneaky heel tactic that not a lot of people have used. I think that's probably like the first time I've seen something like that in the modern era of pro wrestling. I think that right there, that is a very nice layer on top of his heel character. So he's actually doing some great stuff right now. He's one of the best things. He's one of the best things on WWE television right now, Roman Reigns. I never even thought I'd say that.
Yeah, he is. No, I never thought I would say that either. And I think the fans wanted this heel turn. They were clamoring for it. And now that it's here, I like the way that they have this direction. And I like the way that they are doing this. Slowly but surely, the things are simmering within this character and within this story. And I like the way they're doing it. I don't like it overly taxed. Just do it slowly. Jewel it, roll it in there, and everything else. As far as this match is concerned, this is a I Quit match. Now, this is the first time in Hell in the Cell history that this is an I Quit match. This has never been done before inside Hell in the Cell. Never been done before. So, with that being said, I think you're going to get a more vicious and more vile Roman Reigns that you have ever seen before inside the cell. This ain't going to be vanilla. This is not going to be vanilla. This is not going to be cookie cutter. He's going to take on his cousin. And let me explain something to you. I think in this thing, Jey Uso is going to have a lot to handle in this cage because he's never been inside Hell in the Cell before, and he's never been inside with Roman Reigns before. So this is going to be a first for everybody. First I Quit match, first time two cousins going in Hell in the Cell. And it just makes me feel excited about this match. Will Jey Uso win the title? No. Will he get beat down? Absolutely. He's going to be destroyed inside the Hell in the Cell. Roman Reigns is going to give him every single thing that he has. Because he says that he's the head of this table. He's the head of the table. And I love that storyline. I love that phrase. I'm the head of the table. So why would you strip him of it now? Why would you strip him of it? Why would you strip him of it? Why would you do that? I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. But Jey Uso is going to learn a very valuable lesson. He plays around too much with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is going to show you he doesn't play when it comes to a title. And when it comes to that Hell in the Cell, you're going to see a level of viciousness that I don't think you're ever going to see again in anybody inside that Hell in the Cell. So based upon what I'm thinking and based upon what I'm feeling off of this match, Jey Uso's going to say, I quit. He's going to say, I quit. I can't take it anymore. This is it. This is done. I can't do this anymore. I can even see handcuffs coming into this match. I can see a chair. I can see tables. I can see a kendo stick. I can see a lot of toys being used in this match. Because that's how vicious it's going to be. I'm telling you, the last time they threw in the towel, there's going to be no towel throwing in here. You have to utter the word, I quit. And after everything he's done to his cousin, he's going to say, I quit.
And I do fully agree with that assessment. Roman Reigns right now, he is doing undoubtedly the best work of his entire career. And it really just proves that this should have been the Roman Reigns that we should have been getting ever since WrestleMania 32 initially ended. Because that right there, that was the nail in the coffin that Roman Reigns would never, ever, ever be over as a main event babyface after everything that the WWE did for him. But now, Roman Reigns, he is finally in the correct role, and this program with Jey Uso, and I'm very happy that they went forth with another match with Jey Uso, and they didn't go forth with Roman Reigns and The Fiend Bray Wyatt, because we did have that tease with Wobbly Walrus. Obviously, that was a little jab at Paul Heyman, but thankfully, we did not get that, and I'm glad that we went forth with Jey Uso. I'm actually very interested to see what Jey Uso and Roman Reigns do inside Hell in a Cell in this I Quit match. Matter of fact, I actually do think that they're going to top what they did at Clash of Champions. What they did at Clash of Champions, that was probably one of the best, if not the best booked match for WWE all year thus far.
I agree with the assessment. I agree.
So, as far as this goes,
want to top that.
As far as this goes, where can you see Roman Reigns going after this Hell in a Cell match? I can definitely see them doing the Raw vs. SmackDown deal at Survivor Series, like I said, and we could see Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. As far as a challenger for Roman Reigns after Survivor Series, I can see them building up Kevin Owens for Roman Reigns at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs. As far as the road to WrestleMania goes, that's definitely a toss-up. We could see Roman Reigns and Big E at WrestleMania 37. We could see Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 37. Those are definitely two Universal Championship matches that would be WrestleMania worthy. That would definitely shake the foundation of the WWE, if they want to, of course. But, you know, this is the WWE, so they never do anything special. But regardless, I think that Kevin Owens, I think that Big E, and Daniel Bryan, those three would be three great challengers for a heel Roman Reigns following the Survivor Series. As far as Jey Uso goes, obviously, his brother Jimmy, he's going to be coming back soon. I can see Jimmy and Jey, obviously, in the tag team division on SmackDown. They could be facing the likes of Rey and Dominic and the Street Profits. And who else do they got on SmackDown? They got fucking Cesaro and Nakamura. That would be a good one. We'll see what happens there. But as far as this match goes, this could be the match of the night. Roman Reigns, he is definitely going to get vicious. I can definitely see him absolutely destroying Jey Uso. And we are going to get a great I Quit Hell in a Cell match with Roman Reigns coming out victorious and continuing his path of dominance going into the holiday season and eventually into 2021. And the final match, which should be the main event, it is Sasha Banks versus Bayley, Hell in a Cell match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, this match has been building for over a year now, and to be quite honest with you, I still would not have booked this match at Hell in a Cell. I stated that the correct route to go would be to have Sasha Banks off of television, considering the injuries that she suffered on the SmackDown Live after Payback with the initial attack from Bayley, stomping on her injured knee, stomping a chair into her neck. It would have made sense if Sasha would have stayed silent. She should have stayed silent for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, and she shouldn't have even uttered a word. Bayley would have been on SmackDown bragging in everyone's face that, hey, I'm the one that ended Sasha Banks' career, and Sasha Banks was never my best friend, and I was just using Sasha Banks. I'm the SmackDown Live Women's Champion, you know, stuff like that. That would have been the route to go, and then Sasha could have returned at the Rumble. A la John Cena from 2008. She could have returned at number 30, won the Royal Rumble, and faced Bayley at WrestleMania 37. That would have been the best route to go. But apparently now we're getting it inside Hell in a Cell. Now, they can still go forth with the storyline, and in order to do that, you would have to have Bayley beat down Sasha Banks so viciously and win the match. Sasha would then be taken off of television for 3 months, and then she can return at the Rumble at number 30, and then we get Sasha and Bayley at WrestleMania 37, and Sasha Banks wins the SmackDown Live Women's Championship then. That would be the best route to go here, but I actually feel as though WWE is going to go a different route, which of course they're going to go a different route because this is WWE. You know Vince McMahon wants to have his wet dream of having Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania one-on-one, especially after the fact that Becky Lynch slid into that position at WrestleMania 35. So, if anything, they could just give Sasha Banks the SmackDown Live Women's Championship here. They could give her the SmackDown Live Women's Championship here, even though she shouldn't win it here. They could give her the championship here, and they could have Charlotte go forth. She can beat Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, and then you can have fucking Ronda Rousey come back, win the Royal Rumble, even though she shouldn't, and then we can get Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 37, and Charlotte Flair is going to beat Ronda Rousey, thus giving her another career accolade, because she's Charlotte Flair, and she needs to have everything in the fucking world. So, that's unfortunately the route that I see WWE going there. But as far as this match goes, how I would book it, the correct way, the logical way to book it, because I can run the company better taking a shit on the toilet in the morning than Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon could run it up in Stanford, sitting in their Oval Office, sitting in their desks for hours and hours and hours on end. I could wake up in the morning and I could shit a better show than Bruce Pritchard could watch. I wake up in the morning and I piss excellence. Quote from Ricky Bobby right there. But anyway, I got off into a little rant there. Mr. Earl Cole, I want you to give me your expertise analysis on this match. I'm going with Bayley to retain, and I am going with Bayley to beat down Sasha Banks so badly that Sasha will not be able to return to action immediately after Hell in a Cell, and Sasha Banks is going to come back and win the Royal Rumble in January. How about you?
Well, if you did watch SmackDown last week, Bayley never signed the contract. Bayley never signed the contract for Hell in a Cell. Sasha did, but Bayley didn't. So this match is really not official yet. It's not official yet until Bayley signs the contract. Now Sasha is supposed to confront Bayley on SmackDown and get her to sign the contract. This is the same storyline that the WWE used with Roman Reigns. Now, this is what's going to probably take place. Sasha is up there trying to find Bayley and trying to find her to get her to sign the contract. She comes into the ring, the Hell in a Cell gets lowered. We're supposed to have this match. The match never takes place.
Oh, God.
Why? Because Bayley is underneath the ring and she attacks Sasha. She attacked Sasha. The match ended in no contest. We have no contest because Bayley never signed the SmackDown contract. And I have a feeling that this is the road that they're probably going to travel on. And this is probably what we're going to get. Which means that it will continue with the feud until finally we get a match at the Survivor Series. Finally, we get a one-on-one matchup in the Survivor Series. So, I have a feeling that this is the road that they're going to travel on. Will Bayley sign the contract? She might. She might. At the last minute, she might. But this is the same storyline that they did with Reigns when he didn't sign the contract. So, I'm not sure what's going on here or what they're cooking, but I don't like the taste of it.
It's not really something that you can invest in. It's really not something that you can trust, especially with WWE and their track record.
Right. So I'm not sure what's happening here. I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't know if Bayley's going to sign that contract.
I hope she does. I do not want another Roman Reigns incident, because I ranted hard on that. That was fucking terrible.
Well, that's the way that they wanted to do it. That is the road that they want to do it. And if that's the road that they're going to travel on, it's just going to be a wasted match. Because you booked this match for Hell in a Cell. You build it up to this point. Why would you not have Bayley sign the contract and get this match over with? I don't understand it. If that's the road you're going to... Because I don't know. I just don't have a very good feeling about this match. I really don't have a good feeling about this match. I just hope that she does sign that contract. She has to put her Jane Hancock on the contract. If it does happen, yeah, I can see Bayley retaining the title. But we have to see what happens. We have to see if she signs the contract. She has to sign it. It's not official until she signs it.
I hope she does, but I don't think that we're going to get the match at the Survivor Series. I think they're probably going to go for it to Raw and SmackDown. It's either Bayley beats Sasha so badly and wins that Sasha can't compete until the Rumble, or Sasha Banks wins the championship. I have a feeling that they're probably gonna do the contract signing thing tonight, and they're probably gonna have Bayley get the last laugh, obviously leading up to Hell in a Cell. We'll see what happens, but trust me, I'm in the same boat as you. Like, you can't trust this fucking company.
No, you can't, and that's the thing. And that's the thing. I don't have a good feeling about this. I just don't. Something just doesn't feel right to me about the storyline. It just doesn't feel right to me.
It's WWE. Nothing feels right, dude. What you talking about? Nothing fucking feels right.
Like what? And what are you doing?
There we go. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for that because we need to end the rundown on a what are you doing?
What are you doing? Like, what are you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Before we conclude this little thing, I wanted to pick your brain on something that's not WWE related.
Yeah.
Recently, in AEW, I don't know if you've been watching Dark.
I have. I watch it every week.
Peter Avalon. Okay, great. Well, Peter Avalon and the storyline with Peter Avalon.
Brandon Cutler as well.
What do you think about Brandon Cutler and Peter Avalon? Okay. What do you think about this? What do you think about AEW booking a best of 7 matches? And the last match would be for the #1 contendership for the TNT title.
Between Peter Avalon and Brandon Cutler, you see, that wouldn't make sense because they've both been on losing streaks. Remember, wins and losses matter in AEW.
Right.
So I wouldn't mind seeing it because Cutler and Avalon, they're two good wrestlers. When you give them the opportunity, they can wrestle. But as far as winning a championship goes, hey, you got to get a hell of a lot more wins before you can win any championship opportunities in AEW. This ain't the WWE where the losers get the championship title shots.
No, I understand that. But I was just kind of like thinking about it, and I was kind of marinating it, and I wanted to get somebody else's thoughts on it. And I said, I wonder if they can book it like that, and then build up the wins like that, and then eventually book them in that TNT spot.
Well, I do think that if they want to, Brandon Cutler is definitely a potential TNT Championship contender. Brandon Cutler is very good at what he does when he's given the opportunity. So we'll see what happens there. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're going on an hour and a half. That wraps up this edition of The Rundown. Thank you, each and every single person who tuned into this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, check out all the links in the description. Mr. Earl Cole, thank you for coming on The Rundown for WWE Hell in a Cell 2020. It was an honor, as per usual. Everyone, check out Earl Cole's social media links as well. Would you like to say any final words before we sign off?
Yeah, again, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a blast for me, and I know that we're going to be doing this again in the near future. Like I said, like the button, like the video, like DJ Storm's content. I love being on his channel. He's a cool guy. When he calls me and he summons me from the bullpen, I'm always ready to go, as always, and I give him 110% of my time. And, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back in the near future with a new show. I'm working on different contents and working on different things. So I'll be back in the saddle again very soon. But, hey, if you want me on your show, if you want to talk to me about wrestling, I am always here. I'm always available. Check out my content. I'm always posting things of news, rumors, and reports that are out there in the airport. So, again, I want to thank DJ Storm for inviting me here tonight. It's been an hour of long diatribe of talk, of what are you doing, of applauding an AEW match, and it's just been a unbelievable week to be a wrestling fan. So guys, enjoy Hell in the Cell. Enjoy Full Year, which is coming up very soon. and Dynamite will be back next week. And the go-home show for Dynamite is coming. So, guys, that's it. And again, like I said, follow me on social media. I'm always available. And again, DJ Storms, thank you. I have a blessed weekend. Enjoy your Lightning Flash update. And that's it.
We got the Lightning Flash update tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, live as always. And, of course, the rewind for Hell in a Cell going up on Monday afternoon, October 26th. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and this has been The Rundown. I'll catch you later.